The attorney for one of Leslie Moonves' accusers says her client will speak out today with two independent law firms investigating sexual misconduct claims against the former CBS chairman and CEO. Moonves, as you know, was forced to resign on Sunday after new abuse allegations by 7 women were published. A separation agreement shows that Moonves could collect a $120 million severance payment if the independent investigation finds that CBS had no grounds to remove him. Jericka Duncan has a closer look at that deal and joins us at the table. Jericka, good morning.
Good morning to you, Gayle. Moonves, for now, will remain an unpaid advisor to CBS with a company-provided office in New York or Los Angeles, along with home security services. We may never know exactly what CBS is able to discover about his behavior. In his separation agreement, the company agreed to keep the investigation into the allegations confidential. Victims' advocates are pushing the network for transparency.
Leslie Moonves' wife, Julie Chen, was noticeably absent from the season premiere of her CBS show, The Talk. She says she's taking a few days off to be with her family.
As you all know, Julie's husband is in the news.
Co-host Sharon Osbourne previously went on Twitter saying the allegations were an attempt to discredit Leslie. A spokesperson for Osbourne tells CBS News Chen had asked her to make a statement in support of Moonves. She walked back those remarks on yesterday's show.
He's not been convicted of any crime, but obviously the man has a problem.
The New Yorker and Vanity Fair reported 7 new allegations of sexual assault and harassment against Moonves.
I never expect something like this.
Longtime television executive Phyllis Golden Gottlieb spoke to us with her lawyer Gloria Allred. Golden Gottlieb filed a complaint last year with Los Angeles police reporting Moonves assaulted her back in 1986.
He grabbed my head and grabbed it and pushed it down onto his penis.
Prosecutors declined to file charges, saying the statutes of limitations had expired. CBS has now hired 2 independent law firms to investigate allegations against Moonves.
I would urge the board to make any report that they receive from these independent investigators public.
In a statement, Moonves wrote he's deeply saddened to be leaving CBS, saying untrue allegations from decades ago are now being made against me that are not consistent with who I am. In regulatory filings, CBS reported it was putting $120 million into a trust. The money will go to Moonves only if the investigation finds he cannot be terminated for cause. The company says it's also donating $20 million to organizations that support the Me Too movement and equality for women in the workplace.
It's a drop in the bucket when you compare it to Les Moonves' salary over the last few years.
Fatima Goss-Graves runs the National Women's Law Center and is a leader of the Time's Up movement. She's calling on CBS to be open with the investigation.
CBS has an opportunity to show us dramatically either how to do the right thing or how to do the wrong thing. That's why people are watching so closely in this moment.
The independent investigation is also looking at the culture here within CBS News. It's been nearly 10 months since the company fired Charlie Rose over reports of sexual harassment. And 60 Minutes executive producer Jeffrey Fager has denied allegations of inappropriate behavior and of tolerating misconduct. Obviously, as you mentioned yesterday, a tough story, I think. As far as not just reckoning, people want results.
Yes.
And part of that is this report, which, of course, they're advocating for transparency, but we're not even sure exactly when that report will be finished.
I am so sorry again that it hits so close to home for us. You know, I'm sick of the story and sickened by everything that we keep hearing. But the part you mentioned about transparency is very disturbing to me, because I would think, how can we have this investigation and not know how it comes out? Les Moonves has been on the record. He says, listen, he didn't do these things, that it was consensual, that he hasn't hurt anybody's career. And I would think it would be in his best interest for us to hear what the report finds out. On the other hand, you have women who are coming forward very credibly talking about something that's so painful and so humiliating. It's been my experience that women don't come out and speak this way for no reason. They just don't. They just don't do it. And so I don't know how we move forward if we at CBS don't have full transparency about what we find. John, I wasn't here yesterday because I was in a wedding in Europe, as you guys know, but I thought it was interesting when you said a friend of yours said for 30 years this has haunted her. because of course, we're talking about it all weekend, and someone said, how does anybody remember what happened 30 years ago? When it is that traumatic and that humiliating, you remember every single detail.
Like it had happened yesterday.
That
And
struck me
it's
what you
not
said
just
yesterday.
not just in the moment. It's when you go to the lawyer and the lawyer says it's your word against his.
So
and that sense of powerlessness lives with you for a long time.
In our own house, we must have transparency, and I certainly feel for Julie Chen today. You know, she's in a very difficult position, and you know, Les Moonves has done some wonderful things for this company, and we can't forget that either. So it's just a bad situation all the way around. But I'm glad that we are covering the story, and it's important that we cover it and get to the bottom of whatever it is.
You're right. You're right, Gayle.
But yeah, thank you, Jericka. Other than that, how was your day? Good to see you. Thanks.